in this system in China that please buy resales only. Don't focus on the new homes. If you buy new home, definitely buy the #1 developer. It's actually similar to here. I also recommend people only buy from the large builders as well.
I heard that you don't just put a deposit down when you buy pre-construction there. You have to buy the whole thing like at the beginning, and then the developer has all that money to, I guess.
Yeah, that's another funny thing,
right?
Yeah, that's another funny thing, and I think that the system also needs to catch up with the economy development. I think right now the rule is not really in favor of the buyer because the developer can touch the money of the buyer before it's completed in a way. So what happens is that the developer are not borrowing money from the banks themselves. They are allowed legally to use the buyer's funding. That means there could be some corruption there, that when the project is 50% down, they somehow used 80% of the money.
How does that happen all the time?
You know, I think that's because the system is not recognizing the systematic risk of this behavior. So a lot of banks, they're not doing their full responsibility to make sure that you borrow 80% of the money when you finish 90% of the project. Instead, some of them, could be borrowing money more to the developer. Some developer could even shift those money to buy other projects' lands or something else. I think that's a tragedy for many new home buyers. So if I have a family, have a friend to share my thoughts in this system in China, that please buy resales only. Don't focus on the new homes. If you buy new home, definitely buy the #1 developer. It's actually similar to here. I also recommend people only buy from the large builders as well. Don't buy from the small builders.
Yeah.
Didn't the big guys disappear? Like, didn't Evergrande go bye-bye? They were like #2, or were they #1 or #2?
Yeah. They somehow go bye-bye. So in China,
go bye-bye.
If you want to really be really safe, buy resales only when you can see
resale only.
Yeah.
You can move in tomorrow.
We just had obviously our interest rate increase here at the Bank of Canada. Okay. So this week we had another quarter point basis, another 25 basis point increase. Obviously, this has now caused people to sort of think, all right, is this going to be over in the fall? We might have further interest rate. How high are interest rates going to go? Like, what are your clients saying?
What are these guys doing? I think
what are your clients saying this week with the interest rates? Do you have people under pressure from those rates who have maybe variable mortgages? What are you experiencing right now in the field?
Okay. First of all, I think there are certain people who are suffering more than the other people. I think the certain people who are suffering are people who bought at the beginning of 2022. And especially if you take a variable rate at that time, you're probably suffering. For people who bought a home like 2018 or 2015, your loan to value is like 30%, or maybe 40%. I think for this group of people, they're not really suffering that much, but of course, people are paying more. Another group of people is that people who are renewing their mortgage. That also means you probably renewed your mortgage in like 2018 or 2019. So for these two group of people, they are suffering the most. But a good part for the people who are renewing their mortgage is that they can somehow extend their mortgage. If your mortgage term has like 15 years left, you can reapply for the mortgage and get it a 30-year mortgage. Then your monthly payment is a lot smaller.
It's horrible though. People are like, some people, their whole goal in life was to like pay down that mortgage, right?
Yeah,
just make sure to pay it down.
Understand.
Now it went from 15 years to 75 years.
Yeah. So it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, unfortunately. Yeah. So the government has to decide whether they want whether they want interest low or whether they want inflation low. It's a left hand and right hand issue. There's no such perfect thing. I think it does need some time for these two to balance. But I think if I'm in the house, maybe there could be a way of thinking that 2% inflation is probably not 100% necessary. I don't know for that, but balancing the interest rate and the inflation is important.
But they can just recalculate things, right? Especially right now because of how much of the inflation is being credited towards those actual interest payments.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, if they just kind of move, like if they just carry the one and then maybe like, you know, move this number into this column, I'm sure they could find a way to be able to say that we have a 2 to 3% interest inflation rate. And the Bank of Canada is going to be able to uphold their mandate. And
why don't they just look
like,
at the numbers? Look at the data.
Landing.
Yeah.
Soft landing.
Why don't they look at it and go, you know what? Like if we weren't fucking this up really bad right now and we took out all the things we're doing, everything would be fine already.
Yeah.
Right? It's like this central control that's supposed to protect the people is actually the real problem here. Because they didn't have to go 500 basis points or like, that's crazy.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our clips channel. Why don't you go and check out some more clips? We got lots of other good content somewhere over here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.